Oh my god, hi guys, my name is Laura. You know already my name. If you don't know, my name is Laura. But yeah, of course, like always, we're gonna do some fun. We're gonna react to some YouTube videos. And what are we gonna react to? What are we gonna react to? What are we gonna react to? And I guess we can like react to some ASMR. No, I'm just kidding. Not ASMR. We're gonna. What do you think, guys? I think Llama or Okay, we're gonna watch this. Oh my god. But guys. You know what I have to do? I have to have my face cam. Now you guys can see. Okay. A creepy Christmas time.
It was November of 2006. I was a 16-year-old kid living in the town of Altoona, Iowa. I went to bed early one night because I had to work the early shift at McDonald's. As I slept, I had a dream that I was running through downtown Des Moines, but I wasn't on a jog. I was running from something. As I ran around the corner of a building, I came face to face with my pursuer. A tall man wearing a trench coat and a top hat stood in front of me.
You look like
The
someone
only
I
thing
know.
visible of his face was
He
his
looks
eyes.
like a bully.
They were abnormally large with black pupils, and it looked at me as if it wanted something.
What do you want?
After what felt like hours, he reached out his bony hand, as if he wanted me to go with him. I woke up violently from my dream, and after catching my breath, I peered around my room to see if I was safe.
Yes,
As I stood up from my
it's just a
bed,
dream.
I noticed that I could see my breath. Feeling confused, I checked my window. It was latched shut.
What?
I then walked over and checked.
Guys, you know when it's very cold and you can like see your breath, like it's like ice, like white stuff coming out of your mouth like that. Just that you know.
By then, I could still feel warm air coming from it.
Oh, warm air.
As I sat back down on my bed, I tried to figure out what exactly was going on. That's when the figure from my dream appeared at the foot of my bed. I scrambled back to my headboard.
Wait.
What do you want?
What?
I asked, trying to hide the shakiness in my voice. With the same bony finger, it pointed at me.
That's
Growing up in a
creepy.
religious home, I believed what I was looking at was a demon. I told the creature to leave.
Yeah,
It
leave.
just waved its finger at me.
No.
With a low voice, it spoke to me. Never leave. Always here. The creature then...
Guys, I have heard like that. Not that voice, like I leave, I never leave. I have heard like some movie, like or something. It's scary, but let's continue.
It screamed loudly and disappeared.
Oh my
A
god.
feeling of nausea came over me, and I vomited on my floor. The last thing I remember was cleaning myself up and waking up to my alarm. It's been about a month since I had seen the top hat wearing man in my bedroom. The Christmas season was in full effect. My parents weren't home because they got invited to some kind of event. So it was only me and my 3 sisters at home.
3 sisters.
I had to wake up early in the morning for work,
No,
so I
have
decided
also
to go
3,
to sleep.
but not sisters.
I rested my head on my pillow and closed my eyes. Not even 30 seconds passed until my sisters burst into my room and started singing obnoxious songs. This, of course, made me very angry, but I thought if I ignored them that they would leave me alone. This was not the case. As I pulled the blankets over my head, I started to feel the same cold feeling that I had in November.
Oh, creepy.
As the obnoxious singing subsided, I lowered the blanket below my eyes and saw the man standing in the corner of my room.
Stop.
In one swift motion, he charged towards me, and I blacked out. When I finally came to, I found that my sisters had locked themselves inside the bathroom. As I knocked on the door, they told me to go away. I asked them what happened, and all they could say was Mom and Dad were on their way home. I looked down and saw that my hand was slightly bloody. Holes were in the bathroom door, and a broom was sticking out of the wall. I then walked into the living room and found that there were knives stuck into the wall as well.
Why?
The same wave of nausea passed over me, just like in November, and I threw up again. As I was cleaning up, my parents walked through the door. My father immediately walked over to me and gave me a good beating. Then he sent me to my room.
Good. Oh
I
my
went to
God.
bed crying, not from the beating. I was crying because of the confusion. I had no idea what was going on.
Like
The
if
next
I
morning,
was
my
you, I would
sisters
tell my
reluctantly sat
parents.
next to me and told me what had happened. They said I got angry and chased them down and tried to hurt them. They
What?
said my eyes were red to the point where they thought I was bleeding from them. They
What?
said I sounded like a different person. In 2011, that was the last time I saw the top hat wearing man. I just moved into a new apartment, and after a long, stressful day of unpacking, I took a shower and got ready for bed. As I started to drift off, I could feel that cold feeling again.
No.
I lifted my head and saw the man standing in front of me. The man's eyes were red now. With a low voice, just like on that November night, he looked at me and said, "Never leave, always here."
Guys, what do you think that means? Like, that's creepy. Like, in his eyes, he was like blacked out or something like that. I don't remember. But in the kids' eyes, like their sister's eyes, they were like red. That's creepy. I have never seen like person's eyes are red, like blood red. And holes on the door. And a broom sticking out of the wall. Like, what the heck have they done? Like, what have you done? But guys, should I react to another one? Okay, if this like, okay, I will, because maybe you guys like it. So I'm gonna no, not that. I'm gonna go and look. Wait, no, hey, what the heck? Sorry, Lauren, I love you, but and I love purple like you, but not today. Not today. Not today. Not to. And if you didn't, okay, you guess we're no. Okay, I guess we're gonna watch this one, guys. Okay.
I'm 22 years old, fresh out of college, and I recently got a job at my old high school as a sort of computer intern in the school basement. The basement of the school is very messy and disorganized, but there is a small 3-person office that's actually very nice down there. It has 3 nice big desks, 2 mini fridges, a flat screen TV mounted on the wall, and oh so satisfying air conditioning, a luxury the students and teachers cannot enjoy in the school. And of course all the school servers and other computery stuff. I got the job because 3 of my old computer teachers flat out adored me. I could actually consider them as real friends, not just teacher figures, so they all helped tremendously in landing me this job. It's been great, until something that happened a few weeks ago. My 2 co-workers that share the office with me, Dave and Gary, weren't in the office at the time. They were upstairs working on papers or whatever. I was eating my sandwich during my lunch break when I got a phone call from one of the women in the front office telling me the school was on lockdown and that somebody, possibly armed, had entered the school. There wasn't much that I could do other than turn off the lights because, surprisingly, as nice as this little office was, it didn't have an actual door to it, just a big opening, and the door to the whole basement didn't even have a working lock. For my own safety, I did turn off all the lights in the office and my computer screen. I kept my phone on the desk, texting both Gary and Dave, but they wouldn't respond. I sat down there in the dark, playing games on my phone for like 20 minutes, waiting for the call from up front to tell me to resume working. I had no idea what was happening. I couldn't hear what was going on upstairs from down here. But I was not allowed to make any calls until I was informed that the lockdown was over. Then, the noisy basement door opened. As the creaking echoed across the basement and into my office, I sat up from my seat, wondering if I should call out Gary or Dave.
No.
I was eager to get some info from them. Someone then came running down the stairs, and their footsteps were approaching my office. I pushed away my chair and crawled under my desk. Somebody entered the office, but did not turn on the lights. There was just silence. I can't even describe the fear I was experiencing. I felt like if I made one sudden noise, I'd be a dead man. Suddenly, my phone dinged as I got a text message. I felt my entire world shrivel up and die at that one moment as I clenched my teeth in fear. Footsteps suddenly moved closer to me until I finally dove out from under the desk in capitulation, begging whoever it was not to kill me. And just then, someone grabbed my arm and pulled me up. It was some guy in a red plaid button-up, jeans, and a reddish-black cap. He told me, "It's okay, I'm just down here hiding with you." "What's going on up there?" I whispered to him. He kind of ignored my question and asked me if there's an exit down here. I told him, yeah, around that way.
That's
Before
weird.
he could do anything else, I asked him, "Who are you?" There was a brief moment of silence before he started explaining he was coming in to pick up his son when a teacher told him to hide. After his explanation, I checked my phone and saw the text I received was from Dave. It said, "Dude, this is fucking crazy. Some guy with a gun shot Mr. Buckley. He's wearing a red shirt and a hat. Whatever you do, don't come upstairs." I was about to reread that text out loud to the man until I realized. I looked up and felt my stomach sink. The man seemed to catch on to my suspicious stare. Panicking, all I could think to do was to run for the upstairs. A gunshot echoed through the basement, and I could hear the bullet ricochet off something metal in the darkness. But thank God the bullet missed me, and I made it upstairs. Fortunately, police were waiting at all exits, including the basement exit, and caught the man the second he opened the door. More good news, our teacher, Mr. Buckley, survived the gunshot. It was later determined that the man and Mr. Buckley had some beef for whatever reason, but that was never revealed. All we know is that Mr. Buckley couldn't have done anything that would have warranted this kind of reaction. And I know that the sound of that gunshot will forever echo in my mind.
Like, that's creepy because one time, like, someone, like, in my apartment, someone shoot a guy. Like, it was scary. Like, even though my friends were, like, outside and they told, oh my God, they hear the gun bullets. I don't know how to say the gun bullets, like, boom, boom. I was like, no, but I heard, but I didn't like hear very loud, so it was creepy. aloitko sä tähän jo?
Joo.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna watch it three once. I'm gonna watch 3 and maybe 4 if I want to, if I enjoy this so much, and another video I will try to eat a lion. Okay, so let's continue. Sorry guys, I have to have a snack with this.
It was approaching the end of summer, and my friends and I wanted to do some cool, mischievous things before going back to school. So, we had the genius idea one night to sneak into a nearby community pool. It was actually only a couple blocks away. It's right smack in the middle of a residential area, so instead of sitting on a main road or something, it actually just sat around a bunch of houses on a quiet road. During a hot day, the little parking lot would be full and the spot would be bustling. But at 1 in the morning, the place was of course dead. There's obviously a big fence surrounding the whole front entrance, as well as a cage that gets closed up when the place closes. So our best way was to get in through the side. We snuck into the backyard of a neighboring house and hopped the fence over to the pool. It was as easy as that. The 4 of us took off our shirts and jumped into the pool, which in retrospect wasn't smart, since any of the neighbors could have heard the splashes and just called the police. But we were dumb high schoolers.
Dumb?
It was very, very dark within that whole enclosing. This pool had no lights, which is why it closed at sunset. James, Courtney, and Alyssa were on the other side of the pool, as I was just kind of doing my own thing at first, swimming around and getting my face wet. I saw Alyssa get out of the pool shortly after and run away. I swam over to see what was going on. She was just going to the water fountain, though. The 3 of us just bopped around in the water for a bit, and eventually we heard Alyssa jump back into the pool from the other side. It was too dark to see much more than her black hair covering her face.
Creepy.
But just then we heard Alyssa playfully call something to us as she was walking back to the pool. The 3 of us in the pool looked at each other. I know they were doing the same thing as me, counting heads. There were 3 of us on this side of the pool, and here came Alyssa walking over to our side. So who was that on the other side? Alyssa got in, but the 3 of us were distracted, looking at the head bopping around the water across the pool. James said across the pool, "Who is that?" Not even 2 seconds later, the head went underwater and disappeared from view. We took this time to whisper to each other, mostly things like, what should we do?
Run!
Security.
No swim.
And should we run?
No.
Suddenly I felt something grab my leg with force and tried pulling me down into the water. I kicked, splashed, and yelled for help. James came over to pull me out of the pool, while the girls were already running for it, screaming. It wasn't until I got to the stairs of the pool that the grip on my leg was released and I was free. We hopped the same fence we climbed over to get in and ran all the way back to Alyssa's house. I was convinced that whoever that was a security guard. That is, until they literally tried to pull me under the water. We don't know what to think. There are a few possibilities. Maybe it was just another kid messing with us. Maybe it was a security guard who went way too far. Or, most likely, it was a dangerous person who had ill intent.
Okay, bye guys. Hope you enjoyed this video and hit the like button and yeah. So I will see you guys soon. Bye bye.